Welcome to the Renew Life Church Ireland podcast. If you don't know what that is, you came to the right place because we're going to tell you.
So we officially moved home to Ireland in 2025, and everyone's been asking us why we moved back. The reason that we moved here is to start a church. Okay, if you cringe a little bit, don't worry because everybody else has, but just give us a second.
So we've seen what religion and church has done to this nation. And to be honest, we wouldn't want any part of it either.
We believe that we're here to help redefine the word church in Ireland. So join us as we share our heart for what church in Ireland can be
and will be. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 1. Today is going to be really just about getting to know us. Yeah. We're Blake and Vicki Duffendack. We're the pastors of Renew Life Church Ireland. So we're going to be talking about our stories, how somebody from Amarillo, Texas somehow ended up here in Ireland drinking a cup of tea, how that happened, and really just how we got here, why we're starting a church in Ireland.
Yeah, so we've been married for 5 years, got married during COVID, have 2 kiddos, Liberty and Daxton, and we have another one on the way. So due in November.
Yeah, Liberty's 4.
Oh, yeah.
Daxton is
1 and a few months.
15 months. People are like, they're 47 and a half months.
Yeah, he's 1. He's 1.
He's 1. And then next baby's due in November. Did you say that?
So.
Amazing. Well, we should probably just start with the Irish person.
Fair.
Start with your story because I know now that we're in Ireland, Irish people are listening. There might be some that actually knew you when you used to live here, and this would maybe be the last place that they thought you would end up is doing a podcast, pastoring a church. So.
Absolutely. It was a little crazy.
How did that happen?
Yeah, so I'll just share my story. First of all, I just can't believe we're here in Ireland, which is just so wild. What?
You're telling me.
I know, it's so crazy. It's been an amazing transition coming back. Blake's been phenomenal, leading the family well. Didn't know how he would adjust, but he's been amazing. So we moved home in January. Literally, I thought it'd be cool to fly the 31st of December and arrive Jan 1st. Yeah. And it was. We flew through the air into 2025.
With our 2 kids and our 27 bags?
Probably, something like that. I think we had... Yeah, maybe it was 25 or 27 tags that they would put on for like every single bag, those little stickers to make sure you don't get the thing lost.
Might be able to bring up the picture.
Yeah, we should bring up the picture. Yeah. So yeah, we're home and this is the reason we're here to start this church and to start with this podcast to share a little bit about who we are and what we'd like to do here. So I better rewind and share my story. So okay, well, grew up in Dublin, Ireland, so grew up in Dundrum, near Ballantyre. So yeah, have a sister, she's 2.5 years older, Lauren, and my mum and dad. So really just normal life. I feel like your life was pretty normal too, very blessed, like nothing crazy. Went to Wesley College. For anyone that knows Wesley, there's a good shout out to all the girls. So went there, everything pretty normal. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how far to backtrack. Well, grew up Protestant, so obviously a lot of people here. I mean, there's a lot of religions, but Catholic or Protestant was quite normal, either one when I was younger. So grew up Protestant, went to church. So my mom was actually like the warden and did Sunday school, and I used to love Sunday school. Like I had so many questions. I even used to say to I was going to say pastor, but our clergyman at the time, I'd be like, okay, but like, where do we go when we die? Like, what actually happens? I need to know everything. So I always had so many questions. Always believed in God, but yeah, didn't know in detail what I know now. So went to a Christian camp. Shout out to Avoca Manor. Anyone that went there with me or still goes, I think it's still ran. I want to go back as leaders. That would be really fun. So went there when I was 12. So let's just call it a Christian camp. And it was the first place that I experienced peace that I'd never felt before. So went to Wesley, kind of was in school, and then I would go to these Christian camps and I would be like, what is this? This is incredible. So well, I pretty much like someone led me in like a prayer to like give my life to God when I think I was like 12 years old, and we had like worships. There was worship music playing. This is all very new to me. I knew you kind of grew up in the Bible Belt,
which that was different than the church that you kind of grew up in.
Oh yes,
completely different.
The Protestant church I went to was amazing but super formal, and then I'd go to these Christian camps and people would be like, we'd be singing like hallelujah, like, you know, all these like, and I'm like, oh, I love this, like always a positive happy little girl. So I thought these places were great.
Yeah.
So gave my life to God, but then I'd just go back to school and be like, cool, well, yeah, there's a lot of other things I love too. So the other big favorite thing of mine was boys when I was younger, as a lot of people know. And Blake knows my story. My husband knows my story. And I would say maybe even loves it well because of the transformation. So, I had another love. So my parents were so in love. Again, this is an amazing part of my story is my parents are still married. They're so in love. And I always looked up to that. But my whole life, my kind of goal was to find the one. I did find him. But my goal was to find someone like my dad, to find this love that they had, this unbelievable bond that I'd always dreamed of. So I'd go off to kind of these Christian camps, be in this Christian world, love God and whatever. And then I'd come back and I'd be like, okay, but like I'm still empty. I'm still alone.
Which those camps would be like once a year.
Yeah.
Like,
so you go for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And then you go back and like there's some Christians in school. Like I had some amazing Christian friends in school, but like, yeah, then I just go back to normal life. So really I spent, I would say, 12 till 25 chasing that. I'm going to find the one. This is my goal. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have kids. It's going to be the best thing ever. I love.
That's what's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Like most fulfilled is finding
the one,
your husband.
Yeah, because I just love love, and I still love love, and it is the best thing in the world after the Lord. But I'm getting sidetracked now. So but one pinnacle point in my life that I'll never forget was I was 15 years old, I guess during secondary school, high school in America, and I went to this Christian camp in Germany. So a couple of people I knew, we all flew to Germany to this huge Christian camp. So this was kind of like Evoca on steroids. Like this was incredible. There was 1,000 Christian teenagers all over the world that would gather there. And I just experienced something I'd never experienced. Like this older lady, I don't know if it was an angel or not. She was like, I don't know how this happened, but she was like 70 years old and she just comes up and starts like praying over me and seems to know a bunch about me and is just encouraging me and loving me. And I'm like, what is this? And then I used to have really bad back pain. Again, this one was around 15. And my leader at the time and all the girls that I was in a little small group with were like praying over my back and I was feeling better. I was like, what is this? So I really just experienced something I hadn't experienced before, which was just peace, just crazy peace. That like, no anxiety, like, you know, when you're 15, like all the stress, everything would just leave that week. So anyway, I went to Teen Street, it was unbelievable. But then I come back and I'm like, hey, what's next? Try read my Bible. My parents are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I think this is what we do when we're Christians. We read our Bible. Lasted for about a week. And then I just go back to boys, dram, I don't know, whatever we did back then. So make my way through high school, went to Wesley for most of my years.
High school.
See, went to secondary.
I don't think we said that we lived in Texas together for 5 years.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of that.
American in me. Not
Liberty
really,
still says y'all, which is great.
Yeah.
We'll see if she picks up any.
I didn't get that far
Irish
with the y'all. So went to secondary school, went to Wesley for most of my secondary school, finished in the Institute, and then randomly, I don't know why I'm saying randomly, I went to do Montessori teaching and childcare, loved kids. But after that, I was like, okay, well, what's next? I mean, everyone seems to get visas for different countries. So here I am, still finding the one. I'm like, grand, if he's not in Dublin, I'll find him somewhere else. So I went to Chicago on my J1 student visa, had so much fun with my friends. It was unbelievable. Everyone knows what that is here, so I won't bore anyone. Went there for summer, came back, didn't find him there. I'm like, I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to go have fun in Canada. This whole time I'm partying. I'd say, I don't know, was I crazy? Was I not? Probably not as crazy as some people. Maybe crazier than you, little perfect Texas boy. In your little Bible Belt.
Even just going to all these different places is crazy to me.
I loved getting on the plane by myself and just being like, I'm just moving to Canada. Now, my sister lived there, so I knew someone there very well. So flew to Canada, was dating, again, I don't know how many people I dated there, trying to find the one. Partying, looking for joy and freedom in everything that the world says you'll find joy and freedom in. Partying, boys, clothes, image, whatever. I was always very image-based. Nope, didn't find any freedom or happiness there. Just drank myself silly and felt like crap. So came home from Canada. I was there for a couple of years. Went back to Canada, lived in a little ski town, nannied, whatever. And then I moved home, and then I decided I'd go to Australia.
Sure.
Because that's what you do here too. You go to, and everyone knows that here. I have a lot of friends still there. My cousin's there now too. So lived in Australia for a while, got into a serious relationship. We came home together. So here I am, and I'm like, this is great. Think I found the one. We're sorted. Tick the box. Let's move home to Ireland. Let's settle. Then I wasn't getting the attention I wanted. So I was like, I think I'm just going to like lose a bunch of weight and become a personal trainer. The nanny thing's not working for me anymore. I was so into image and how I looked that I was like, I'm going to lose so much weight and get shredded, and I'm going to get attention online. This is going to be brilliant. Still, that void still wasn't filled of, I found the one, like now everything's perfect. Like I still wasn't happy or satisfied. Now, I hadn't mentioned this, but the whole way throughout these years, so I've kind of jumped from that moment in Teen Street of 15 to maybe now nearly 25.
Yeah.
So I'm hungover, I've drank too much, I'm sad, I'm down. I listen to worship music. That's Christian music. Like I would always talk to the Lord. Like, and that might
like
sound, I'd always pray.
Yeah.
I'd always be like, I'm so sorry I drank too much. I just pray that I'm okay. I pray that I wake
Please
up
take
tomorrow.
this headache away.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was my...
I'll never drink again, I promise.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually might have even said that, but it would have been a good thing to say. That was my go-to. And I think a lot of my friends knew that, like, my go-to was God. And randomly, I remember being on the beach with a few friends in Australia, and they're like, you're a Christian? I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't know, but like, love the Lord. Like, he's great. Like, helped me through so much, like 100%. I'm like, one day I'm going to give it all back to him, but like, not yet. I'm having too much fun. But like, I was empty. So people, like, it would come up.
Yeah. Which is so you.
Well, yeah. I'm like, it's grand. Like, I'm Christian though.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. I didn't think that you were. Or anyway, not a good representation of a Christian. So anyway, I'm going back to, I finally moved home. I'm a personal trainer. Well, my head just blew up. I just loved myself, was a personal trainer, used Instagram to promote my business, which was quite a successful business because I used Instagram, especially in the days where Instagram was only becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So it was good timing for business, but just posted a bunch of photos that I shouldn't have posted and just showed off my whole body from head to toe. And again, I'm empty. So suddenly,
that
still didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going out partying in this relationship that I thought would give me happiness. I'm now looking the best I could ever possibly look. So everything's going for me for what the world says is going for you. And I'm still empty. Well, this relationship ends, which we both agreed it was absolutely just not right whatsoever. But I'm mortified because now I'm like, this was the closest I was and it wasn't it. And I'm back to finding the one. So I was absolutely mortified. And I was like, well, like the world, like Instagram, because I got so into Instagram. Instagram says that freedom is just being on a beach in Bali, like sipping a cocktail with your toes in the ocean. So I was like, great.
But you would have just seen a reel or photos of...
It was all over. Bali was the place then. So obviously I had gone to Australia, I'd gone to Canada, done all these things, places where you can get visas. but everyone else was going to Bali at this point. So I was like, well, I'll just go to Bali. There won't be such thing as time there. I'll go and I'll sell my online program. So my plan was to go from in person to online. So my friend helped me create this website online to sell my programs, had all these kind of transformation programs, weight programs, all of that. So that was my plan. So another guy went with me, flew to Bali. Now, at this point, my parents were like, okay, it's kind of more common to do Canada, Australia, whatever. They're like, you won't like Bali. You had a pretty good upbringing and you're not going to like Bali. Yeah. You're going to go there. It's a little more third world. The Bali belly, you could get sick. Like, my dad used to have all these reasons. He'd write down like all these reasons of like why I shouldn't go to different places. Actually, I'll tell you about the American one. Just out of safety and protection. Well, Bali was like, you just won't like it. Just don't go. It's not Please. Like go. You know, you're like your nice hotels and whatever. So didn't listen. So I decided that I would go to Bali and like put my phone away.
Which is so you, like everything's going to be grand.
It's going to be amazing.
Make so much money doing nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to do absolutely nothing. Yeah, that still sounds lovely. So it does. So get to Bali and my anxiety is through the roof. Now, if anyone knows Bali Airport, like some people are like, it's hilarious. Haha, people are screaming at you to get in. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm ready to get back on the plane and go back to Europe. You would have thought I was cultured, but maybe this was just very different.
Because you went to Canada?
Canada, Australia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, more culture than I was.
Yeah, exactly. Hadn't left America since we met. Anyway, so get to Bali and it is not what I thought. I have so much anxiety, riddled with anxiety. So yeah, go to all the bunch of places. My main thing was just getting those photos, but I actually wasn't having a great time, to be honest, just because it just wasn't what I thought it would be. And also I book a one-way flight. I'm like, I could be here for a year and never know. Like, and I'm like, oh no, I don't like it. Like, what's next? Like, am I going to go home in 2 weeks? I don't like it here. So like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm like, we'll just ride out 3 weeks. Oh, I was meant to fly to Vietnam, booked a flight to Vietnam. Again, I know I'm not going to like it there. Just know I'm not going to like it. Anyway. So in Bali, this is where things hit rock bottom for me. So I do get the Bali belly, like my parents said I would. And I have never been so sick in my entire life. I was literally pooing and vomiting at the same time everywhere. And I was already quite tiny then, like lost so much weight, couldn't have any water, couldn't have anything to eat. And I was lying there in bed, couldn't move unless I had to do that. I could just about get up to explode. So maybe it had been 24 hours and I literally was lying there and I was like, okay, well, probably won't see my parents again, but I've done this to myself. This is it. Shouldn't have come to Bali. All the other places were a great idea, but my parents knew I wouldn't like it and they know me so well. And I'm literally lying there like, okay, like this could be it, but like I did this to myself and I can't move. And I also I do care, but I don't, like I'm in such a state that like, if this is maybe it, like I'm melting away. Like I felt miserable. So at that point, I started praying and I clearly heard God say, what was the happiest time in your life? And I was like, Teen Street.
Which that just was the first thing that came to your mind.
Yeah, this Christian camp, Teen Street, that I went to when I was 15 years old. And like, I didn't have energy to text my parents. My phone was on this ledge behind me. I remember the bed. But I somehow have energy to pick up my MacBook. And I am on this hunt for, like, Teen Street's in Germany. I'm in Bali. So I type in Teen Street and it comes up, autocorrect, whatever is it? Comes up Teen Street, Australia. So I go enter, it says Teen Street Australia is on in, it was either 5 or 7 days time. Now, didn't know there was a Teen Street in Australia. I'm 2-hour flight from Australia, couldn't be closer to Australia, know the country pretty well, have a friend in Melbourne. So I'm like, I email Teen Street and I'm like, hey, like, is there any chance? So you can go back. Remember I said earlier, I'd love to go back as a leader. You can go back as not a camper, but a leader. And And I was like, any chance you guys like need a leader? Like I'm in Bali, but I think I'm gonna
And
come.
you're like 20 something? Like,
So I'm 25, I think. I'm 25 or 26. And I think I'm 25. And I'm like, oh, I just want to, anyway, sorry. I said, is there any way you guys need a leader? And someone from Teen Street emails back, and I don't remember if I'm feeling better, if it's the next day, whenever it is, but someone emails back and says, can you call us on this number? We need help. We do need help for something. So I'm just like, this is it. Book my flight, go to Melbourne. I'm like, ooh. I'm like,
so crazy.
I'm like, back to Christian camp.
You
like,
literally just from that email booked a flight and went to Australia.
I was like, this has to be it. This has to be it. And also, like, my whole life, even though, like, I've always been real positive and like, oh, this has to be it. Like, I always knew it was God. Like, no matter what, I always knew it was God looking after me. So I was like, this is it. This is him. But I still didn't feel well. So I probably wasn't that excited about it yet.
Yeah.
I book my flight. I'll tell this story really short, but I get to the airport. The volcano erupts in Bali. So I have to go back to Bali for another 24 hours. Like I have to leave the airport and go back to Bali for another 24 hours. I've never in my life wanted to get out of Bali so bad. And everyone is like, Bali's 24 hours
trauma.
longer. I'm like, get trauma. I'm like, get me out of this place. The second I can make that flight, I made it. So I fly to Australia.
And you just left the guy there.
He went to Vietnam, probably had a great time. But we were going to fly to Vietnam together and say goodbye.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't it as well.
Okay.
And I was going to write my book. I was going to write a book in a Vietnam hotel for like a few weeks. And then I don't know what I was going to do next. Probably see if I found another guy, but didn't get there. So anyway, I get to Australia. I stay with my friend. Well, the first thing I did was went and got an Australian SIM card so I could call this Australian number. So I went and got an Australian SIM card and I'm like, hi, how are you? I'm like, so do you need me? And they were like, well.
You hadn't even talked to them at this point?
No, I just knew. I was like, this is it. So because I had to get the SIM card.
Yeah. Because
I don't know WhatsApp. I don't know why I didn't think of WhatsApp or what kind of number it was. So I'm just following this trail. So I call this number. Again, let's just call them Teen Street Answers. And they're like, oh yeah, well, we've just been praying for someone for the front desk. Like, you're not going to be looking after teens. Absolutely should not have been anyway. But
did you say like the only thing in your suitcase was just skimpy bikinis?
I had like very tight Lululemon leggings. So anyway, you're going ahead.
Okay,
I'm going to get there. But they said, we've been praying and we need someone for the front desk. You won't be looking after teenagers, but like, you're just going to check people in.
Yeah.
And I was like, lovely. So they were like, yeah, you can come a few days early and help set up and leave a few days after. So I was like, great, I can pretty much go for a week to this place. So I booked my ticket, and then at that point it's like, okay, I have one pair of Lululemon leggings and like a couple of crop tops. So I had to go, and it was going to be cold. It was so I had to fly from Melbourne to Brisbane. Then I had to get on a random bus that was 2 hours long, and it was like 2 hours to this random camp. Anyway, so I bought a pair of Uggs, thought it was pretty appropriate, some Uggs and some long jumpers that just covered my bum. And I was like, this should be great. So I wore the same outfit every single day for the whole week. So I arrive and everyone was so sweet. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm around a bunch of Christians. Like, the feeling was just so different. And I literally was like, I was laughing. And I was like, I can't believe God had to, like, I had to go to Bali for him to swoop me back in. Like, I had to hit that rock bottom part for him to be like, no, you're mine. Like, you're not, this isn't it. So that week was unbelievable. After I checked people in, I could go to the teenager services, basically. So I walk into what they still called the throne room. So that was the place where we all worshipped. And I walk in and like all these teenagers are like beside me. Like, they're the ones that are ready for the message. And I'm already crying. I'm like, I'm just back. I feel so much peace. I felt like I was a teenager again. So this guy gets up on stage, probably one of the pastors, and says, had all these like images flashing of like, this is what the world says freedom is. This is what how the world says you can get freedom. And then this pastor said, God never created us to live a life without him. And I was like, oh my gosh. no wonder I felt this void my whole life. I felt like I had a hole that I was trying to fill with guys. I had a hole in my heart my whole life. And it was God. Like, he created me, but I didn't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
I had this void that I was like, boys, looking good, partying, drinking, like, what is it next? Clothes, like, what can possibly fill this emptiness? And then they said something like, you're not defined by what anyone else thinks of you. An image was like broken off me. I was like, oh my gosh, like all I've been going after. So basically I had this moment in Teen Street when I was 15, and I'm having it again when I'm 26. And I'm realizing, okay, I haven't wasted, but I kind of have, like, the last 9 years of my life, the last 11 years of my life, I have wasted on what the world says freedom is. I have grabbed every single thing that the world says, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is what's going to make you happy, this is what's going to give you freedom, this is what's going to give you joy. I tried to grab all of it, and I was sitting there like, no, what I experienced when I was 15, when I experienced being in God's presence, that's it. Now here I am at 11 years later realizing that was it.
Wow.
So I like to say then, from really at that moment that I gave God my second yes and my final yes, I was like, I'm never going back to whatever, all the stuff I was doing with guys. I'm never going back to that image stuff. Like, I know who I'm created to be. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, I know my identity. Like, I know who I've been created to be. And I just this is what I want to walk in for the rest of my life. Because the freedom I felt, the joy I felt was just like nothing I experienced before. I was like, this is it. So stayed in Australia for a little bit, and then I moved home back to Ireland, and I'm like, okay, I'm a Christian again. Better message all my Christian friends. Well, I had like 4. So I messaged them on Facebook, and I was like, guess what? I'm back. Like 11 years later, like, God's wrecked me. Wait till you hear my story, all this stuff. And anyway, they tell me about a church that's just down the road from my house. It's a two minutes from my house. Open Arms Church, and Sean and Jill are amazing church. Yeah. Sean and Jill are the pastors. It was phenomenal. I can't believe that was the first place I got to plug into. So the only thing I wanted to do was go to church and be around Christians because of what I just experienced. I'm coming home. I'm a completely different person. I don't want to party. I don't want guys messaging me. Like, I don't want any part of that anymore. Like, who am I? So I went to this church, got plugged in, absolutely adored it, was there for about a year. And then so remember I said I'd always listen to these worship songs throughout those 10 years. Well, I'd listened to a place called Bethel, and obviously you know it, but I'm just explaining.
I didn't say anything.
No, I know. So I'd listen to all these songs, mainly from Bethel. I had all these screenshots of like Bethel quotes and all this stuff. So can't get Bethel off my heart, off the tip of my tongue. I meet some friends who have been to Bethel, and I'm like...
Which is a church in California.
Sorry, it's a church in California, in Redding, a couple of hours from San Fran.
And they have a music label where they do Christian music, and that's what you're listening to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I heard that there was like a ministry school there, and just felt like I was meant to pursue it. So I went up to my pastor, my pastor's dad, who was like the main pastor there, and said, have you heard of Bethel? Like, Bethel is on the tip of my tongue, can't stop thinking about it. And he said, well, I don't know anything about Bethel, but this other pastor up north in, I think near Belfast does. So I contact this pastor, and I'm like, hey, I want to go to the school. What do you know about it? And he's like, well, it's very different to Ireland. So before you would commit, so he's been a bunch of times, I think he took 3rd year interns from Bethel, from this ministry school that I knew nothing about. But before you go, I highly recommend you going for a week. This is so random, but I'm bringing a team over from Ireland with my church, and 2 people bailed yesterday. A couple did. Do you want to come? Like,
crazy.
You're clearly meant. Like, it was just like divine moment. And I was like, I'm going. So I booked my flight. Obviously, you know, this is very easy for me to do, especially in this situation where I know that God wants me to go. So I fly to Redding, California. I get to Bethel, and I spend a week there. And it is, I just felt like I was home. I'd never I had experienced something like that in Teen Street, in going back to Teen Street. Here I am again, and I'm like, are we in heaven? Like, this is just glorious. What is going on? The peace, the place, the people, people praying over you, loving on you. I just wanted it. I wanted this life. So finishing up my story was, I go home and I apply for the school. I get accepted. Then I meet this very handsome man 2 weeks into school. But I'm going to let you share your
we'll get it.
Riveting story. I'm joking.
Yeah. So my story isn't quite as riveting and exciting. I didn't just bounce here and there. I basically stayed in the same place, which I'm from Amarillo, Texas. Yeah. Which I've never heard that song till I came here.
Which is, there's another one, Amarillo by Morning.
Yeah, George Strait.
Yeah, everyone thinks that.
George Strait, right?
Everyone thinks that's the famous one. It's not the famous
And then there's Amarillo Sky.
Okay, keep going.
But
we know the real
but didn't
one.
know that
But he's
one.
from there.
But
It's
now,
so cool.
like, it's a big
Every
hit
night
at
I
Irish
become-
weddings, and they're like,
Yeah, they get quite
It's
excited.
my time to shine
It
when
is
it
your
comes-
time to shine
it is
when
great.
that song comes on.
Yeah. So not much to see there, so don't know why there's songs about it. But Simple Town, I'm the youngest of 5 boys, which was actually really, really fun, is why
Yeah.
we're on our way to 5 kids.
Stop. He's forcing me. I'm joking.
We'll see how 3 feels.
Yeah, we will.
And then, anyway.
But you had a sweet family. Like, you had
Yeah.
such a normal, fun,
Oh, yeah, my
kind of
parents-
similar upbringing.
Yeah, my parents are amazing. My dad unbelievable, taught us amazing values.
Still very much in love.
Yeah. And so in Amarillo, like where we live in Texas, it's like the top of Texas. It's basically called the Bible Belt.
I didn't know it was the top of Texas. It's the first time I've heard that.
The Panhandle.
Yeah, I
'Cause
didn't know
Texas,
why
like-
it was the pan called that.
Well, you're getting educated as well. So they call this the Bible Belt, which basically means like 99% of people would say that they're Christians or they believe in God because it's just part of the culture.
They probably do actually believe in God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
And so you just grow up going to church Sunday morning, Wednesdays for youth. It was just a part of our life. Well, for me, I actually loved it. Like, for some reason, I just felt drawn to church. I just kind of what you felt was like, there's just this peace there. It just felt like this is where I belong. I just love to be in church.
But it wasn't weird to say you're going to church. That was
very.
So it was
just-
easier there
oh,
to be a
100%.
teenager and go to church.
Yeah, it wasn't like this.
uncool.
Yeah, edgy
Stigma.
thing. Yeah, fringe is the word I was thinking of.
Fringe.
Like fringe to say you're going to church.
It's fine. Just keep going.
Just don't use that word ever again. So yeah, I started going to youth group. One of my best friends, his dad was actually the pastor of this church. And so I started going to that church, and I had a youth pastor there that I just absolutely loved. And he just kind of basically just took me under his wing and just taught me how to be a Christian and what it was like to have a relationship with God. And I think that's really what changed everything for me. Was a lot of growing up, we're taught that saying you're a Christian or that you believe in God is like, well, you follow these rules. You can do this. You can't do that. You need to be perfect and do all these things. And when my youth pastor then just started showing me like, oh, it's actually really fun to be in relationship with God. Like, it is the most fulfilling thing you can do.
Right.
And like, I saw that in his life. Like, he was always happy, always joking around, having the crack.
Yeah. Lovely.
Didn't feel right.
It is. It sounded great.
And it was just, he just showed me that, and it was so attractive to me.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I was shown or taught growing up. Something was different. And the thing that was different was this relationship.
Okay.
And so actually through that was me actually having this spiritual experience with God. Like, I actually tangibly, physically felt the presence of God. One time when he was praying over me, And it was like from that moment on, I think I was maybe 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I knew what I felt was so undeniable that nobody could tell me God wasn't real because I experienced him. And I think that that's just such a big thing is most people don't ever experience God. They just hear about him or see that he's represented in this horrible way. So yeah, from that moment on, it was like, I just want more of this. Like it basically ruined me in a way of like what I just experienced was something I never thought was possible. I didn't know you could physically experience God in such a real way. Yeah. And so really every moment I was like, I want to be at church. I want to be involved in this. So even when I was in youth, I would come and help set up the chairs. And
he was
then
a goody two shoes.
And then I would stay and help clean up. And I just wanted to be around it. Well, then I'm graduating high school, secondary school, and like college was never really anything I ever desired to do. Never. All my friends were like talking about where they're going to go. And I'm just like, I don't think I am. I mean, they were nice about it, but there was just like, I don't know what I would do in college.
But is that because you wanted to do ministry?
Yeah, that's ultimately where the decision came to was like, I'm just drawn to this. I want to do this. And so I basically just I'd volunteered at the church for a while. Well, once I graduated, I started working at the church that I went to youth group at. Okay. They actually hired me. And really all I did was clean toilets, clean the church, set up for events. Like I was the facilities guy. So I would just clean the church. That was my full-time job. So all my friends
He always puts the toilet seat down, which is so impressive. So, yeah, I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, I didn't learn that from cleaning toilets, though.
It sounds like you might have.
So, yeah, all my friends were off to college, and I was just cleaning toilets at a church, which didn't sounded like I'm a loser. But it was like there was just something. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
But you loved it. You were around.
I did. That's what I'm saying. People. It was weird that
even the people that were there were incredible. You had amazing friendships.
Yes, which is exactly why it was so fulfilling. Yeah, because it wasn't about the job I was doing, the money I was making. It was about the community I had. Yeah, and I just knew I was in the place that I was supposed to be, and there was so much security in that, comfort, and then. So I did that for 6 years.
Crazy. And
would like still volunteer in youth. There was another youth pastor. I would just help them do this. I was a leader in the small group or in the youth group. And
so like what, 18, 19 to 25 or something?
18, no. Youth group is like 14 to
But when
18.
when you worked at the church.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I worked at the church from 18 to 25.
Okay.
So the first 6 years of working at the church, I just did facilities, and then I ended up being like the children's pastor the last 2 years. So I would teach elementary age kids on Sunday morning, and then like during the week, you just had other jobs basically preparing for Sunday.
Yeah.
So basically, from when I graduated high school, 8 years working at this church in the Bible Belt, it was really like, it came to a point where I was like, well, this is all that I know. I'm actually want to know what else is God doing? Like what else is out there?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you would just go to Chicago and go to Canada. Like that's actually what I love about Irish people is they can just go somewhere and just get involved.
Ballsy, yeah.
Yeah, basically. But like everyone loves them. They're just able to get stuck in. They're so likable.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just have the guts to go and experience something different.
Right.
It's amazing. Where I'm from, most people would just stay there. Like the fact that I live in Ireland is like...
Well, you hadn't left America before.
Like I've traveled to a few different states.
I think I'd been to more states that you had when we met. But
yes, you had.
Let's keep going. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
So yeah, my world was this big.
Right.
I've just experienced what's in this town.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there has to be, which I'm like, it just seems so cliche to be like, there has to be more. But it was something like deep in me which it was actually different from the town I grew up in, is thinking like,
Yes.
there has to be more
Yeah.
to this God thing. There has to be more than just what's happening here in my world. And I literally remember, so I would start praying about this. Is like, why do I feel this way? Why am I kind of frustrated with where I'm at all of a sudden after 8 years of doing it? And I remember I would journal, like I would basically write down like, dear diary, like I would actually like write out what I'm feeling, but it was my way to process to God.
Yeah.
And write out like, why do I feel frustrated? All this stuff. And I actually just felt like God was saying, you can stay here as long as you want, and I'll bless you, is basically what he was saying. Like, you can do this thing, you can work your way up in this church. And I was like, okay. And then the next thing he said that I wrote down was, so he said, you can stay here as long as you want, and I'll bless you, but there will be a lid on what I can do. And that, like, hearing that spoke so deep to my heart. Because it was like everything that I'm feeling, wanting is like more. And for him to say there will be a lid, for him to say that there will be a lid is like, I can't experience that more than I'm wanting unless I go.
Right.
So the only thing I knew was, okay, well, I can't stay here.
Yeah.
And it's so kind of him to be like, you can, and you'll still have a good life. But if you take a step of faith, the lid will be blown open to what I can do in your life. And that was like the most pivotal moment in my life. But it was still like, okay, well then what? And it was like nothing, silence. And one of my friends who was also a pastor, I'm processing this whole thing with him in this season of my life. Well, he sends me this school, Bethel, their ministry school.
Praise God.
And he's like, hey, I'm not saying like do this, but just check it out. I think it might like
You might meet an Irish wife.
Yeah, basically. And so I look it up online, and I'm like, I immediately know like this is it. This is the next step. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm in small Amarillo, Texas. This is in California, Northern California. And I'm like thinking about making this big move, and it's like bigger than I've ever thought before.
Right.
And so I apply, get accepted, and that's basically where we start.
Crazy. So I fly from Dublin, Ireland. You fly from Amarillo, Texas, pretty much the same day.
Yeah, which this is what's so crazy is the common denominator in both of our stories is we had an experience with God where he becomes so real that it's just like, we just want more of this.
Yeah.
However we can get it, we want more. Like it was that real to where we're like, this is it. This is everything. To where somebody from Dublin, Ireland, somebody from Amarillo, Texas, have some kind of experience with this real God and end up in the same place with the heart of just pursuing more of him is nuts. Crazy.
I know.
So I remember getting.
I just want him to get to the point where we meet.
Yeah,
It's
well,
my
I remember
favorite
getting
part.
to Reading, and first of all, I meet like people from. It's like 40% or whatever is international, and so there's people from Australia, from Sweden, England, Ireland, and I've never met anybody from any of these places before. Like everyone I've ever talked to has a Texan accent, and so I'm just like, this is crazy. But it was literally what God spoke to me about that lid was I'm hearing people from all over the world talk about how they ended up in the same place because this God talked to them, spoke to them, they encountered him. And it literally blew the lid off of everything. Like I've never met anybody from another place basically. So this was wild. And then 2 weeks into school.
Well, he also, what do you say? Like the fact that God had a passport
like,
and could like travel to different
the
places.
people can encounter God in other places.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and then 2 weeks into school, meet this Irish girl, and then everything changed from there.
Everything changed. Best year of our life so far was then what? It's gotten better.
So you saw
It
me
was a
on
crazy year.
the Facebook.
Christ.
Huh? you thought I was attractive.
That's not how it went. You randomly added me. So in fairness, everyone adds everyone. You're in this like first year Bethel group. So I had like what we had probably both had a couple of hundred people like adding us on Facebook. So we're all added into this group, and then you add each other as friends. So we somehow became friends because you had added me and you had seen me because your dad said that you had said to him, I mean, like, because he was like, you can't believe you're moving to California, this is crazy. And you were like,
my
hey.
dad was not happy.
No, he was like, you were like, hey, I might meet an Irish wife.
I did say
And you
that.
said that you thought of me when you said that. So let's just put that out there at the very start. And
So it's not creepy now.
I think it's so cute.
Thank you.
And there was also this party. It wasn't really a party. It was someone's birthday party that you thought I was going to. And you tried to show. So you were following my stories, not really stalking, but like absolutely wanted to meet me.
Yes.
Okay.
Wanted
So
to meet
we
you.
can start there. That's fine. Just
Okay, so
clarifying that.
So she posts something on Facebook that's like looking for a boxing gym, right?
Yeah, I was like, if anyone knows where you can box in Reading, let me know.
Well, so
I put a story up on Facebook.
in Amarillo, I for a little bit worked at a boxing gym, and that's where I would go and work out all the time, like 5 days a week, and then started training there. So I was actually looking for the same thing when I moved. Like, is there anything like that here? Well, she posts this thing, and I'm like, completely innocent. I'm actually looking for the same thing.
Did you put two and two together? You're like, okay, that's the Irish girl.
Yes, I knew who you were.
You wanted
Yeah.
to write back to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was like crazy. We're both looking for the same thing.
Okay.
It was kind of innocent,
Okay.
but like really, I was kind of excited as well.
Okay. So he messages me and says,
If you find a place, let me know. Very easy.
okay. So then I was like,
Tiptoed.
and then I said, well, I have my gloves and
bold
mitts.
Vicki.
Yeah, I was like, I have my gloves and mitts. Like we could just go to a park and like box together.
I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. We could do that.
The forward Irish girl.
Yeah.
Again, this is the first time probably in my life that I haven't had an agenda. I was like, yeah, let's just hold the mitts and like, let's box together. It's free. It's great.
Yeah.
So before.
Which I brought my boxing gloves
Yes.
with me.
And
You
so
brought
did I,
yours,
and I brought
which is
mine.
weird.
And just quickly to explain that I brought a whole extra bag, checked in bag to fit these boxing gloves. Like I was so adamant. And my mum was like, yeah, that sounds great. Like you'd love to do that with people. Like absolutely bring them. So we were both like, how do we fit these? Because I had like 2 pairs of boxing gloves, the mitts, all this stuff. So I brought an extra checked bag with a bunch of extra clothes as well. So I meet you in school to make sure you're not a weirdo. And I'm like, okay, do you have WhatsApp? And you're like, what's WhatsApp?
Never heard of it.
And we'll briefly go over, we'll just skim over. But anyway, you get WhatsApp. So we text and we pick a time. So you pull up and pick me up and we jump in the car and we're driving to this park. And it's the first time, like he was kind of the same age as me. A lot of people were younger there and we were chatting and telling each other very quickly. It was a 5-minute drive, like a little bit of our background. And it was like, oh, we have a lot in common. Oh, he's very calm. He seems very mature. Okay, cool. Like whatever. I don't think I was wearing makeup. I was in my workout clothes. So we start walking to the area we're going to box. And you're like so slow. You had a little bit of extra weight on.
We're about to work out. Why am I going to start running?
Because I'm like, let's go. This is where we're going to go. We're going to walk down here. Come on. And like, you're walking so slow. Would
No
you tell me
hurry.
you actually wanted to just chat?
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, we're here to work out. So we get there. And we start working out and I'm like used to do a bunch of hits with my clients. So I'm like literally like, okay, you run here, run back 10 punches, you run here, run back, and then I'll do it. And like, so it was like, we were literally there to work out. So this is where
And I was out of shape.
absolutely out of shape.
I'd let myself go a little bit.
Yeah,
I was like 2 biscuits.
Face was swollen in those videos. That remember the smoothie one or the
Yeah.
green.
She's like, okay, run. I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
It was a sight to see, but you're still
Trying to be
attractive.
good. Thank you.
But then, very cheesy, but such a moment. We're suddenly boxing, and we look at each other, and I'm like, "Oh, complete setup."
Yeah, my
Mar-
right hook is what did that.
Stop it.
Ace.
He would come in, and like I'd be like, "Oh my gosh," because I was just like doing it with girls before with my clients, like having
had to
fun
let her
chatting.
know.
Gosh, it was intense. I think I had to tell you to like chill. But we locked eyes literally, and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're on a date. Pretty sure I'm going to marry this guy. Like straight away I was like, oh, this is a setup. Like we're not just boxing here. It was nuts.
It was nuts.
And do you remember that moment?
No. I was trying to just be cool, like not overthink anything like that. I was just trying to be like, whatever happens, cool. I'm not gonna be like, so you're my girlfriend after this. I was just trying to like, if this keeps going, amazing, but like we're gonna be at this school for a year. So like,
Oh, sounds awful.
anyways, so fast forward
A week.
to a couple days, I think. I
Couple days.
actually text you to go on a date.
Yeah, I had to help you get there, but
Yeah. Don't have to go into that. So we go on a date. We basically get Starbucks, walk under this bridge, which that sounds like sketchy. It was a nice place.
it was the Sundial Bridge.
Yeah.
It was
And
a nice
there's
place
like
for
a
date.
river. And so we sat there and we literally talked for 5 hours, told each other basically our whole lives, everything, talked about our families. And then from that moment, I was like, she's the one. Like, this is.
I remember I would scoot closer to you. Remember at the bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept
so
scooting
cute.
closer.
But I think before that, I didn't think it was true. Like the statement, when you know, you know. Like, didn't think it existed. And then now we're in this moment, and I'm like, this is my basically our third time hanging out. Like, she's the one.
Yeah.
And for me, that
We both were sitting there, and I think at the very end, the last like 20 minutes of the conversation was like, okay, well, let's sleep on this, but like we're pretty locked in here. Like I actually think we started the conversation of like, this is it, right? And it's
Yeah,
like,
we did.
yeah, pretty sure. And then we sort of had that conversation. It was pretty serious. And then we're walking back over the bridge, and I'm like, do you guys not hold hands here? Like, we literally know we're going to get married. And you and I'm like,
I'm like,
I'm like thinking we're going to kiss.
yeah, we hold
I'm
hands.
like waiting for like the dramatic kiss on the bridge, let alone a hand held. I'm like,
I told you I was trying to take it slow. I didn't know you. I don't know if you want me to hold your hand or kiss you. And
I know. So didn't get my kiss. Actually, I did get my kiss.
Yeah, you did.
He dropped me home, walked me to my
don't know why I did that.
walked me to my door, and we had a little kiss, and
Laid it on you,
there was
yeah.
fireworks.
There
was
was.
literally fireworks. It was phenomenal. Woke up the next day, and we were like, yeah, we're in love. Let's do this. And yeah.
It was amazing.
So
But for me, it was like,
Mr. Religion Pants over here.
yeah, there's no way it can be this easy. Like, when you know, you know. I was still like, I feel like I know, but like, it can't be this easy. There's got to be a whole process.
We have to
and
wait a few years to get married. And
got to figure it out. So, like, we're at this ministry school trying to process this whole thing. I literally, like, wouldn't even hold her hand in school. Like, we're officially dating now. This is a week in.
We're at 28.
Yeah, we're way past being teenagers and being nervous. Like, anyways. So, but this is actually something I was really struggling with, because I'm like, I don't want to make a mistake. I want to do the right thing. Like, there must be steps we need to take.
He was the real follower. It
Yeah,
was
just-
opposite of me.
Which is, I learned so much from you, the way you are. Like, that is absolutely religion, doing right, being perfect. But it was what I was going through at the time. And I remember, like, actually praying, like, God, if this is real, like, if it can happen this fast, please, like, confirm that, show me, like, tell me something that, like, she's the one. Because I think a week in, 2 weeks in, I already told you I love you. We already, I think, went and looked at
That
rings.
second date. You
Something
said I love you in your
Insane.
apartment. Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
I was like, okay, so like I have to leave in March. We don't get married, so like we probably should get married. Like, and you were like, but you were like 100%.
Oh,
but then,
yeah, I was
But then you also were
processing with myself of like, okay, I don't want to make a mistake.
yeah.
So I wanted to do the right thing. Anyways, I'm praying. Well, we're hanging out one day, and it's like getting cold, and Vicky's like, oh, I just want a hot water bottle. And I'm like, what the heck is a hot water bottle?
Did you really not know what it was?
Never heard of it in my life.
Okay.
Never heard of it. And so I'm like, what is that? She tries to explain. Still have no idea. We're like, well, let's go to the store. We'll try to find you one. And of course, we go to like a Walmart or something, which they're never helpful. Like, do you have any hot water bottles? And they're like, they didn't know what you were talking about. No. They're like, there's lukewarm water in that aisle. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I thought the same thing, basically. So it was this whole ordeal about this hot water bottle. I'm like,
we spent a whole night on it online and Googling and
yeah,
no such thing.
Yeah, looks like a whoopee cushion. Don't know why anyone would use it. So anyways, what's crazy about that is we're in school one day and we do this like activity where you draw a number. And the number is attached to a person. Like there's a group of, let's say, 12 people. I pull number 11. Well, I'm supposed to go home and pray that God tells me something to give person 11, which sounds really silly, but just stay with me. Mm-hmm. So I show up the next day and this girl says, oh, I have number 11. I'm like, okay, that's me. They make me go to the front. And she's like beet red, super uncomfortable. And I'm just like standing there. It is really weird. Like this is kind of new. We're figuring it out. And she's like, I almost didn't even bring this thing. It seems so weird. But I felt like God told me to give you my pink hot water bottle that I brought. She was like from Sweden or something that I brought from Sweden. And so she pulls out this hot water bottle, hands it to me. And then basically the whole thing is like, ask God to give him something. Well, then ask him why. Why am I giving him this hot water bottle? So she basically starts with, here's what I think I heard God say.
Right.
Is here's the hot water bottle. And then she goes, I just feel like this represents something that this hot water bottle is going to think that brings you comfort and support. And like just basically starts explaining what Vicki is going to be for me. Mm. And I don't know what I looked like. My jaw was just basically on the floor. Like, you can't make this stuff up.
Right.
So I'm like, thanks. And I take the hot water bottle. She gives it to me, put it in my backpack. I get out of that class. Vicki gets out of hers. We're meeting. And she just sees my face. She's like, what? And I literally just pull the hot water bottle out of my backpack. And she's like, where did you get that? Explain the whole story. And it was just so wild that like,
I was like, no, do you believe that we're meant to be together?
Exactly. Like literally praying for that. That happens.
I was like, in the other pocket, there's the ring, right?
Propose right now.
Yeah.
So that was basically how we met. Crazy story. We ended up getting married 6 months later.
Yeah. Got married during COVID. Unfortunately, either parents couldn't come. They were FaceTimed in, but we made it as special as we could. And I mean, we had a great time. Like our honeymoon, I went to a hotel for a honeymoon for a few days during COVID, but then we had,
Our wedding was the day of lockdown.
Yeah, but what do you call that newlywed season after?
The honeymoon?
I don't know. Anyway, the 6 months after we got married, we literally couldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. I loved every minute of it.
It was nice.
It was so much fun. Just during this season, I was working for Teen Street, doing their social media, which was so cool. Mm-hmm. Full circle moment. But we just had so much fun. We got to know each other. We obviously met very quickly. So we got to know everything about each other. Living together was so much fun. We had the best time. And then went to visit your family, which obviously there's just a lot of fertility in the house because that's when we conceive Liberty. So we were married for 3 months and then got pregnant with Liberty, which we thought we'd wait a couple of years, but we also didn't need to. We were like 28. We were like, okay, I mean,
it was also COVID. There wasn't much else going on.
No, it was great. But we just were both I needed more responsibility. Like I had my best 20s. I'm sure you lived it up and we were both just ready to settle.
Yeah.
So we stayed in Reading for a little bit. We applied for second year of like the Bethel school, got accepted. That's kind of what we're thinking. then we get pregnant and we're like, okay, like I guess I just won't graduate because baby's coming a few months before. Like it's going to be a bit messy, but we'll just figure it out. And then you always felt like you weren't sure if that's definitely what we were meant to do. So we call your best friends, our best friends now, but Keith and Natalie, and we say, this was the person that Blake had said, go to Bethel.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, we just don't know if this is the right thing. So you felt like they were about to start a church in Renew Life Church, Lubbock, which is about 2 hours from where Blake's from. They're about to start this church that coming September when we're meant to start school. Unfortunately, I'm kidding, because it was Lubbock, Texas. But we both actually feel like we're meant to move here. Like, oh gosh, are we meant to pack up everything and move to Lubbock, Texas and be around? So I would say pretty much like a huge part of your community was moving to Lubbock that September to start this church.
Yeah.
We'd gone to school done the first year, we'd got you'd had a lot of ministry under your belt anyway. So we literally both made the call. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Felt like it was the next step. Felt like it's where God was calling us. So we pack everything up into what was it? I love that car. Hyundai. I just said bye to it recently. It's still in the family. It's fine.
Yeah.
So we packed it up. And I mean, like, we had to slam the door every time we stayed in a hotel because we took 2 or 3 days to get from California to Texas. Is that right?
Yeah.
Kind of. I always think Texas is here.
Yeah, it's like a 20-some hour drive.
So we literally move across America. Is it?
Yeah.
Into the middle?
close to across. But
yeah. In 2020, September 2020, we moved to Lubbock, Texas to help our friends start Renew Life Lubbock.
What's crazy is it wasn't for a job. There was nothing really there for us. It was just like we felt like this was the right thing to do.
Well, it was the church and community.
Yeah, we wanted to be around community. We're about to have a baby, and we just went, packed up everything and went.
And I think a big thing that helped me, because Reading's still quite beautiful, but Chris Valton, he's one of the pastors of Bethel. So he said, when you find your people, you find your purpose. And I was like, okay, I think we do need to be around at least your people, Blake had a lot more people in that world, in that community. Literally they were starting a church. We just felt like this was the place that we needed to be. And I don't think I had not experienced community like I had before. I got there and Natalie, Keith's wife, was like, okay, so I'll host your baby shower. I'm like, what? So I'd never been to baby shower before. And she's hosting my baby shower. You have a certain amount of hosts. You get them a gift. They get you all these gifts. I had no idea. She had to tell me everything that I needed to do. I had no idea. I didn't have to do that much, but I didn't know what any of it meant. So, then they gave us their doona, all these hand-me-downs. We were just blown away with what community looked like. Really what we experienced at church was the people. The community. We had never experienced. So we obviously had fun in Bethel for that year, made a bunch of friends, but this was a real taste of what we got plugged into the community.
Yeah, somebody helped me find a job within a few weeks.
We got a Range Rover.
We got given a Range Rover.
Yes.
Which is insane.
We'll
tell that story eventually.
Okay,
but
let's keep going.
Yeah, somebody literally gave us a car. I don't think we really did not need to buy anything for Liberty.
No.
Everything was given to us. When we moved into our apartment, somebody drove from Amarillo 2 hours away, brought us couches, gave them to us, moved them upstairs.
Yep.
And the whole time, obviously, I've experienced some of this growing up in church and having amazing people around me. But this was obviously I've never have been a husband, becoming a dad, and for everyone we moved, everyone surrounded us, gave us everything that we could possibly need. And it was this is why we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
To experience this.
Yeah.
And over the next 5 years, we were a part of that. We were the youth pastors for a little bit. We were what we call home church pastors. We just got involved as much as we could because it meant that much to us, and we wanted to do the same thing for other people.
Yeah, and then I think it was summer 2021. So the worship there, like the music they play is phenomenal. Keith, again, our friend that we've mentioned a couple of times, got up on stage. He was the pastor there at the time. And he's just so encouraging. So the worship's amazing. Keith's so encouraging. He gets up and he's saying like, I don't know what, just encouraging us like, if you only knew what God could do and, you know, how he can change your life in one moment. And I'm just like, yeah. And just feeling everything. And I'm literally like, I started weeping and I was like, Ireland needs this. Like, great. Everyone's a Christian here. And that is phenomenal. And there's a weight to it. And I appreciate it. But if Keith was standing on a stage in Ireland right now and the worship music's playing and he's telling everybody how much God loves them and that everything's going to be okay and you don't have to deal with anxiety and you don't have to deal with depression and you have a loving father who loves you, like, are you joking? If this was in Ireland, like, I just remember saying like, this has to be in Ireland one day. And God was like, you're not going to miss it. Like, you'll move when I move. And I was like, okay. I remember putting it in my back pocket and I was like, okay, I believe you. We're going to move one day. So kind of would say things to Blake like, babe, we're going to go to Ireland one day. And he's like, yeah, like, I just don't know. Like, we might go for like 3 months. I don't know if we'd move. And I'm like, yeah, it is crazy, but like, I know it's going to happen. But then another thing happened and God was chatting to me in church again and said, I want you to help redefine the word church in Ireland because this is what it's meant to be. And I was like, okay, I'm going to write that nugget down, but you got to start talking to Blake because my husband, you know, he needs to come too. So a big moment for us was a year later, now we're September 2022, we're home for my friend Debbie's wedding. And that's when, thank goodness, we're driving to Galway, listening to Lewis Capaldi, I think. And
Which takes you places.
And God pretty much said to you, like, Vicki was in America for many years, but you'll be here for many more.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
And you didn't tell me till we got back to America.
Yeah, it was like one of those things that it was just like a whisper. Like, it was almost like, was that my thought? Like, why would I think that? We were just driving. I was looking out and it was just like this small thing, but felt like, whoa, like the connection. And so, yeah, for me, that was when it started opening up to like, this might actually be a possibility.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm like so closed-minded in the sense of like, how do you just move to Ireland?
Yes.
Like, I moved to California for 9 months. Like, that was the extent that I've...
Right. I'm like, we'll figure it out. We'll just whatever.
Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, like, God, if that's true, you're going to have to do it. And then we would come to Ireland over the next few years, maybe at least once a year. Sometimes we came twice a year. And the more we came, I was just like, I absolutely love this place. I love the people. And it was almost that same thing that Vicki felt I was starting to feel of like, man.
You would even feel it stronger sometimes.
Yeah, like I just want other people to taste what we've experienced in the sense of community, in the sense of love, acceptance, like actually truly encountering God in a real way. I'm just like, I would love for people here to experience it because like, we know you've told me like the history of Ireland of like, there's been a lot of abuse and oppression and all of these things. And there's just been a poor representation of who God really is.
Yeah.
And I think that got on me.
Yeah.
Of like, man, I just want people to truly know who he is. And then they can do with it what they want.
Yeah. So that's when, I think it was after one of the trips that you very quickly had lunch with Braden, who was the senior pastor of Renew Life.
Yeah, so it got very real for us.
Right.
We couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I went to our pastor, which I would typically just process things with him, like what I'm feeling, whatever. But this was like hot.
Yeah.
Because we had just gotten back from a trip. And I'm like, it might have been after I felt like God said that. So I went to lunch with him. We had this conversation. And I'm like, basically, like, we just feel like we're supposed to do something in Ireland. And his response was just unbelievable. First of all, he was just like, well, Ireland isn't in our heart. Like, we don't know much about Ireland, but you two are. Like, Blake and Vicki, you guys are in our heart. So whatever God is saying to you, whatever you're meant to do, we want to do whatever we can to support that and get you there.
Yeah.
And that's what we mean when we talk about community and all like that. That's the selflessness to think of like, oh no, because I was basically like working for him, kind of on staff,
Right.
which would be easy to be like, no, you're here.
Right.
You work for me.
Yeah.
But instead it's like, oh, well, if that's where you're supposed to be, let me help you get there.
Yeah.
Like, that was wild.
Yeah.
And so that was basically what sparked everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year later, here we are.
Well, we all took a trip. So the four of us took a trip.
Yeah.
Me, you, Brayden, and Leanne. So we took a trip to Ireland for like 5 days, which was just phenomenal.
Yeah, they've never been.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was January 24, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we came here and it just became real. It was like, okay, we're going to start our New Life Church in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, we're literally going to do that. So there's one in Midland, which is 2 hours from Lubbock. There's one in Lubbock. There's going to be a couple more, one in Amarillo, one in Odessa. So they're all kind of around Texas. And then they're like, let's do it. Let's do our New Life Church Ireland.
Yeah.
And just every dream came true. Couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe that we get to do this in Ireland. Like, it kind of started for me here in a way, but then I got to go off for so many years. And now I get to bring back like
So
what I
crazy.
truly got to experience. And so, yeah,
You can't
that's,
make that up.
we
It's
really
wild.
feel like a big part of why we're here is to help redefine that word church in Ireland. Cause the word church to me is amazing. It's positive. It's great. I was just in it for 5 years in America. And then you come back here and you tell people we're starting a church and it's just like, oh, lovely. Probably won't come. But then when I explain it, they're like, okay, that seems a little different. That
Yeah.
doesn't seem like the churches we all went to, kind of the Protestant Catholic churches we went to. So still Christian, but just, what would you say, like not a modern flair, but just a real authentic relationship with the
Community,
Lord,
yeah.
community.
Yeah.
It is very different.
Relational.
Yeah.
Very relational. And I think that is our whole goal, basically, to just end everything here. Is our whole goal is to basically bring that same culture
Yes.
here to Ireland. Is just start a community, be in relationship, show people how you can also be in relationship with God. You can talk to him, he can talk to you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So
We want people really we want to see people experience those moments in our life that changed our life forever. Like, I literally was living
Yeah.
I was literally living this life in Ireland. I was empty, I was broken, I was alone. I was going after all of these things, and then my life changed when I got to know the Lord completely. I mean, literally, I wouldn't have met you, we wouldn't be living here, we wouldn't be starting a church, we wouldn't have our amazing kids. Like, it just wouldn't have happened.
Right.
So I just want people to be able to experience those moments that we've experienced, that we're like, this is it.
yeah.
Now I'm connected to the person who created me to be. Like,
Yeah.
I know who I am. I know where my identity is. Let's go. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And even like you can see in our life, my life for sure, is God has so much more in store for people. He has the best.
Yeah.
I could have never dreamed to come to Ireland, let alone live in Ireland.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. That I'm even here makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah. And I mean, just Ephesians 3:20, that we just love this verse, that God will do exceedingly abundantly more than we could ever ask, hope, or imagine.
Yeah.
Just feel like that's a huge part of what we just want Irish people to taste and experience, is that like
It's
there,
so
he
much
just has
better.
he just has so
Yeah.
much more for you and for your life, and so much hope, and we're just really, really excited to hopefully play a part in that
Yeah.
in your life.
And so here we are, starting right here with this podcast.
Episode 1.
This is the start of basically everything that we're talking about. So you can follow us on Instagram, Renew Life Church Ireland. And then these podcasts will be on podcast platforms, YouTube specifically for the video.
Yeah, and make sure that you reach out if you want to connect, message
Yeah.
us, ask us questions, connect with us. We're just, hopefully you're as excited as we are. So we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah. See you on the next one.